Hello and welcome to the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. Today, we have a very special episode. I am your host. If you've never been here before, this is a podcast where we do the news, we do the games, anything that you are interested in the games world. We are covering it tonight. I'm your host. I'm a little nervous. Sorry, I'm going to say this a third time. I'm your host, Solon. And with me as co-host is our dear friend, Spencer.
Hello.
Normally, we would have, guests on, guests of honor to help things out. But no, we're both hosts today.
This is a two-host episode.
Yep, no guests. 0 guests on this episode. We've both crowned each other host. Like, we give each other a little crown. Isn't that what they do in Fall Guys? You get a little crown at the end or something?
I think so, yeah. Although,
yeah.
I think in Fall Guys, it's made out of, gold carrot. It's not made out of bones, which my crown is definitely made out of bones because, got to stay on brand. What's yours made out of?
Well, mine was... I thought the crown was something else. Mine was made of candy, though. It tasted really good.
Oh, no. Well, that's fine. Yeah. It's your crown. You can do what you want with it, so...
The crown's inside me, because that's where the podcasting comes from. Comes from the heart. So we've got a banger of an episode today because it is, as I've called it, the calm before the storm. There is less news than last week and less games than there will be next week. Because last week was just a buck wild episode. If you hadn't heard LV and Scott on episode 377, wow, you will get an entire suite, a buffet of what basically was the end of 2021 and will be the beginning of 2022 news-wise. It is jam-packed. This week, we're going to prep you for next week's episode in a weird way because there's just the right amount of news today. And there's just the right amount of games that have come out this week. So let's start by talking about some games that you've been playing. Spencer, how's Halo been doing?
It's pretty weird, gotta be honest.
What's your journey with Halo right now? Where are you at in the Halo-verse?
So currently I'm towards the tail end of Halo 2, looking to go into Halo 3. I know there's many people who are big Halo fans, huge Halo heads. I know fellow site contributor Rose is big into Halo.
Does she call herself a Halo head?
I don't think she calls herself a Halo head, but I'm gonna call her a Halo head. I don't know what the fan term for Halos are, but
Chief Queens.
Chief Queens. All right. Well, just to give everybody my history with Halo. Played it in middle school, like Halo 1, and then Halo 2 came out not too long after that, and then I was like, okay, this is fun. But I was never into the online PvP scene in Halo. I mostly liked it for the campaign, which is typical for me. I usually like campaigns, not interested in PvP. And playing Halo 1 was a fun time. Shoutouts to the Halo 1 Magnum pistol, which was one of the greatest hand cannons, one of the greatest handguns of all the video games. And replaying it is still true.
Hold on, you did call it a hand cannon.
I did call it a hand cannon because it's as powerful as one in Halo 1.
Which totally tips your hand, and in the exact same way, I completely understand and agree with you that Halo's Magnum is one of the best handguns ever, and it has very similar feeling to Destiny 2's hand cannons, where it just bangs.
The first moment where it really clicked with me is when I was fighting the hunter enemies in Halo, which I had forgotten. And also I've been playing these with Rose, in the sidecar, whatever you call that on the motorcycle. And she was telling me that the hunters are just made out of worms. And I was like, I got to look this up. And then sure enough, the hunters are just colonies of worms, which I didn't know about, but that's pretty cool.
Hold on, wait. Oh, hold on. How come when I type into Google Halo Hunter, the very next search says Halo Hunter worms?
Yeah, they're worms.
I don't need to confirm this. It's confirmed itself for me. Yep.
And then it was really funny when I got to Halo 2, and one of the prophets was talking about the history of the Arbiter, and is the taming of the hunters. So there was one Arbiter that was just going around taming some worms into getting into suits of armor.
Isn't that literally a SpongeBob episode?
I think so. It's gotta be.
Doesn't SpongeBob tame a giant worm at some point?
It certainly does. I remember that. But anyway, so I was fighting some hunters, and then I pulled out the pistol, and when you get close enough with the hunters, they start doing melee attacks, and you basically just Matador around them.
Yep.
You bait them to do their melee attack, you go behind them and you shoot them in the back. One shot from the Magnum kills them instantly from full health to dead because they programmed the pistol to get headshots. Mm-hmm. So the pistol, when they nerfed this in Halo 2, which a lot of people will remember, the Halo 2 Magnum is not nearly as good as the Halo 1 Magnum. There's a quote from one of the designers who says that they readjusted things because the rifle in Halo 1 felt more like an SMG than a rifle, because that was the other thing. I always really liked the assault rifle compared to Halo 2's infamous battle rifle. But playing Halo 1, I was like, no, give me the battle rifle back, because this is bad, because it just has really horrible accuracy and you can only really use it as like a close range weapon. Right. But then to further that quote, they also mentioned that the Magnum, the handgun, acted more like a rifle. So when they shifted to Halo 2, they made a rifle that actually felt like a rifle, hence the battle rifle, which is the gun that anybody I know who is a Chief Queen loves the fucking battle rifle. It's like the best gun ever.
Well, absolutely. Because of Halo 2, like it has that same stank on it that the Magnum had in Halo 1.
Yeah. But playing through Halo 1, I was like, the Magnum and the shotgun, love those a lot.
Yep. You can do literally anything. If you just have those two, you don't need a sniper rifle even, because the Magnum's got 2 times scope on it. It's ludicrous.
It's so good. But I finished Halo 1. It was pretty all-right game. Gotta say, I've been playing it in Halo Master Chief's Master Chief Collection for the Chief, by the Chief, featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. And the functionality, this has to be repeated, because I'm going to keep talking about this until they put this in other games. The functionality of being able to press a button and it swaps between the original look and the updated look is the coolest fucking shit ever, as it always has been, and they need to put that in more games.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mostly played it with the newer graphics, but being able to switch on the fly is just incredible. They did a lot of good work with that.
It's such an amazing magic trick. I wish that they talked more about how they did that, because we were playing Resident Evil 2 weeks ago, and I was kind of like, God, I wish I knew how this looked originally, because it's still the same fixed camera perspective in the original Resident Evil in the remakes, which is great. And I'm just like, I wish I could just, push a button and like, I want to know. I want to see it. And it's interesting in the Master Chief Collection, because some of the like rooms in Halo with the updated lighting don't actually necessarily look better than the old version. They just have very different feelings and atmospheres to them that are really cool to compare.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of times I would just like look at the architecture and compare where they design stuff, where they embellish stuff, and a lot of the like little details they actually just kept in the newer versions, and just like you can switch back and forth, and those little details will be in the exact same spot. But there are larger scale things that absolutely look different. Like where something was just a geometric brick, it might have some more contours and designs and put into it. It's pretty good. It's just really cool that you can do that on the fly. It's because like I think most games would design it so that you can when you load a level, you can load it in one or the other. But being able to change it on the fly, like during gameplay, is just it's so good. You would never do this, but the fact that you can do it is it's just really smart.
How does that feel compared to, playing more modern some more modern shooters like Destiny, as far as like design wise? Because you're going back through the original Halos where, they really made some statements that was not how shooters used to be. After Halo, there was a big turning point for the shooter, genre being more than just monster closets and, battle arenas.
And one of the big changes that Halo made was the limited arsenal, because in both Halo 1 and 2, I don't know if this applies to the future Halos, because that's the other thing. I only ever played up to 2 and then just got off the Halo train like right when Halo 3 was coming out. But but so that's why I've been revisiting these so that I can play the newer Halos.
Yep.
So I can understand why the fuck all the Chief Queens keep talking about reach up so much. But I'll get there when I get there.
It's really good. I can't. Yeah, go ahead. It's reach, man. It's reach.
But all of the older shooters were like, you have an assortment of different guns. You can move at like Mach 3, and you're just fighting a bunch of monsters. Like even some modern, like semi-modern games like BioShock and those types would let you get like a full arsenal of guns and you could swap between them. And there were always things like you get a pistol and a shotgun and an assault rifle and a rocket launcher and a weird weapon, like in Halo 2, like the weird weapon is like the gravity gun, or you get some sort of sniper rifle or something.
Yeah, the Needler was where everything went. After the Needler happened, nothing good could happen ever again in shooting games.
But Halo 1, and especially Halo 2, when they removed the health system, because like Halo 1 still has like health incorporated into it, but they phased this out with Halo 2, where it was basically all shields, all regenerating health. And that's really the big, and that combined with the limited arsenal of you can only carry 2 weapons at a time were the big like factors in Halo's evolution of the FPS genre.
Yep, less was definitely more in that case.
Now, you know, as I've said with like Half-Life 2 and BioShock and a bunch of other games, like there are still games that go with that older style of you just have an assortment of a bunch of weapons, and even like the more modern Doom games, you still get an assortment of different weapons. But Halo popularized the idea of having not every single weapon in the game. And then also, this was kind of maligned for a period of time, at least in the wider games culture, of having regenerating health and needing to use cover and stuff. Because like every game was doing it, like Call of Duty was doing it. Because before it was just like you have health packs and health kits, and you have like a medic on your team or something.
Yeah, you get shot a bunch, and then you go to a closet where there's a bunch of health and stuff.
Yeah. But Halo offered a way for people to get their health back without necessarily having to run to specific points on the map or rely on another player to heal you. But, you know, as games have evolved the FPS like format, you kind of get a mix of things now. Like sometimes there's regenerating health. Sometimes it's regenerating health combined with med kits. Sometimes it's med kits and also other players being able to spec into healing other people. Sometimes it has all three. Sometimes it's like, and a lot of games still use like the realistic model, like Battlefield, where the time to kill is 1 bullet and you're dead.
Yep.
So, but at least as far as Destiny 2 is concerned, and comparing those two games, because they basically have the same studio, Bungie.
Yep.
Destiny 2. Like playing Destiny 2 and then playing like Halo 1 and 2, it's like Master Chief has a really shit build for Destiny compared to Destiny 2 standards, because it takes him like 17 years to regenerate his shields, and he
Master Chief wouldn't last
slow.
3 seconds in Destiny 2.
Basically. What is he doing out there? But it's fine. He's Master Chief, and I have to assume all this stuff gets so much better in the later games. So, but it's been fun. I can't wait to finish the fight. Oh shit, I got to say the line. Yep,
you can finish the fight. You're there. You're almost there. I just can't wait for you to... Are you going to do ODST and then Reach? Are you doing it in the release order?
Or the Master Chief Collection order? Yeah, I'm doing them in the Master Chief Collection order. So I haven't done ODST or Reach yet, but I think I'm going to play 3 next, and then we'll do Reach. Well, it's either ODST or Reach after that. I don't know the actual release order, but
yeah, they're
Halo
just
3
fun.
Is next. Yeah.
They're always fun to come back to.
What have you been up to?
Well, I put out a review today, or this week. I put out a review for a game called Unpacking by Witchbeam Games, and Witchbeam made one of my favorite dual stick shooters that I've ever played, Assault Android Cactus, and I have had a lot of love for that team, for that crew. Bunch of Australians looking to make games that are way more professional than you'd think would have any right to be. Like Assault Android Cactus is a dual stick shooter, just top down dual stick shooter, very simple, but has a very specific type of flow and character based design, and like how they do their levels all are extremely intentional. And when you play it, you feel like you feel like you are like operating a painting or some kind of work of art, in so much that like you can tell that every single piece of this has been meticulously thought out, all the way down to like just the writing beats being very like kind of classic sci-fi outer space niche stuff, but then exploring like a bunch of different character types, and there's just so many good things to that game. And so when Unpacking was coming out, I was getting excited, not because like there was this like very during the Wholesome Games Direct and during a bunch of the like small indie games shows, they would show this little unpacking simulator. It's like, yeah, take stuff out of a box. Oh, that's very cute, very nice. And then when I saw Witchbeam was on it, I was like, oh, okay. So I put out a review, and I really didn't get as in-depth about the game as I wanted to, because I didn't have to, because one of the team on Witchbeam, I don't even know if they were working a whole lot on development of the game, but Sanat and Mishra tweeted out, yeah, this game does have 14,000 wave files just for unpacking things and putting them on stuff.
Jesus.
You can, and the video that shows it perfectly was, you can take out the little thing of Febreze in the bathroom, and if you put it on the tank, the toilet tank, because that's where you put your Febreze, you put it on a toilet tank. Everyone does that. Duh, this is, bathroom 101. You put it on the toilet tank, it'll make the toilet tank sound. If you put it on the lid of the toilet, which this is a normal place to put your Febreze. Everyone does that. Everyone just puts it right on the toilet lid. It's just going to be right there. It makes a toilet lid sound. If you put it on the floor, it makes a floor sound depending on what type of floor you're on. It's just, holy crap. The one that got me was that there's a lot of very, very well put together game boxes and DVD boxes where it's just like 20 or so pixels, but you can see what game it is. You know, when you pull out the GameCube box for Wind Waker with the like soft gold on it, you're like, Wind Waker for the Nintendo GameCube. Excellent. Tastefully done. And you throw that on the shelf and it'll make a GameCube disc sound, because the GameCube discs are very small. They're little guys. And so it sounds like that. And when you take the DVD out next to it, or a Blu-ray out, you'll hear like more of a plasticky sound. You'll hear it like, it's nuts how specific this one tiny thing is and how much it makes and adds to a game that's just about opening boxes and unpacking stuff, which is such a reductive way to put it, because Unpacking has a lot of really cool stuff in it where you're just taking things out of a box, but every time you click on that box, something comes out of it that has a history to it that you also know is going to have a future to it. It's a game. Let me get to the very beginning of all this, because I feel like I'm actually getting a little ahead of myself, and I did in the review too. It's okay. I'm proud of that review. It's very concise. So Unpacking, you're playing as a character who starts in 1998, I believe, in their first bedroom all to themselves. They're a kid. And it goes through all of the times that they have to unpack in their life chronologically by year. So you finish unpacking a room, it says, yay, good job, you unpacked this room. And then it takes you to, 2004. All right, we're going to college. We're in a college dorm room, and now we're unpacking like a big box computer. And that means that one of the funniest little bits, there's a bunch of really funny bits and sad bits and happy bits. You open a box and all that's in it is a computer case. And it empties immediately. And you go, oh, what was I expecting? It's a computer case shaped box. Then there's after that you unbox a computer mouse pad. And the computer mouse pad looks very 2000s, all very colorful. And as you unbox it in the future, it starts getting more and more scuffed up. And you can see just like a little bit of wear and tear on some of the items in really subtle ways. There was a teen like TV poster that I unpacked. And then when I unpacked it the next time, it was a little frayed and destroyed. And then I never unpacked it again. And I went, where'd it go? I know where it went, though. I know.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah. There's narrative in this game that pops in and comes... It just comes up in ways where you can write your own, like, fan fictions about this game. Or, you know, or just, like, stories about what happened with folks in ways that are very real. Like, I think the 5th level or something, there's like 9 or 10 levels, and you can blast through this super fast. If you were a weird freak, there's definitely been stories of people like being like, oh, I beat it in 2 hours. It's over. And I'm like, yo, you didn't play this game in 2 hours. You operated it in 2 hours like a machine. You played nothing. The 5th level is that you're like unpacking into a very swanky kind of like high-rise apartment, and you're not the only person in this apartment. You can see that there's someone else here. They already have been living here for a while, and they are very male. They're very like, you know, the bath shower wash is like this like brownish like bourbon-esque shower wash, and there's a lot of like grays and steels that look very clean, very put together, but there is no space in this level for your stuff. And it starts to paint this picture that you're moving in with a guy, and that guy is not really doing anything to help you out here. And the most heartbreaking part is one of the last things that you pull out is your own diploma. That's like, yeah, you graduated from school. You've got a diploma now. And it's like, whoa, that's awesome. That's great. And there's nowhere on the walls to put the diploma because they're already taken up by this dude's guitar, these little like art posters that he's got laid up everywhere to make it look really like fancy and rich. Some music posters of bands that he likes, and you find out that really one of the only places that you can put it, unless you like squeeze it off to the side somewhere, you can put it under your bed.
Oh,
along with your yoga mat, which just always goes with the bed. And so it's like, oh, this is the worst dude ever. It's okay. It gets better because you don't see them again. Time moves on. You move in with more people over the next couple of levels, and you find out for different reasons why you're moving in with certain people, and you've collected stuff from all of the other move-ins, and it's beautiful. There's just a lot of narratives that you can pull out of it in such a genuine and real way that feels like you know what they're into, and you know how this reflects on you and your own. Like, everyone's had to move in somewhere. This is just a universal experience. You've had to come into a new space with stuff of your own and either add it to someone else's stuff, or get, for the first time maybe, you get to put into your own space with full control of where you get to put it and how free that feels. Or in this case, game design-wise, how easy it feels, which is also a cool feeling. It's really cool. It's just such a sleek game, and has all of these details in it where you can tell, like, not only is this rich game, like, sound-wise, musically, game design in it is really rich, all the way down to the extra details, like being able to make GIFs of your unpacking. And so you could just print out a little GIF of everything that you did to unpack. Someone put out a post of their GIF, and it involved them playing with their plush dolls and making them, like, do an impromptu soccer game, which was super cute. And so it played out in the GIF format. It didn't show, like, them unpacking these things, but instead it showed them moving the plush dolls around. And yeah, they made it like a turn-by-turn based little soccer game inside of the living room of the or in the bedroom of the space. And so there's just excuse me, sorry. There's just a lot of fun ways to play around and unpacking that are even more than just the unpacking part itself, and so it's exciting. It's not the same as Assault Android Cactus. It's not the same as what I'm used to with Witchbeam, but also at the same time, it so is exactly what I would be expecting. Yeah, no, they set the bar for professionalism in games, and so I'm excited to see where this takes them now. This newest journey that they're on.
I have two things related to unpacking. One, the 14,000 wave files. Cannot imagine what the Foley work was like to get that to fly.
Oh yeah. No, that was like a full team effort on the waveforms. As far as I understand it, it was like I think it's like 3 or 4 people on the team just making noises, and they just had a professional workflow that works so that they could put them all in easily. I think it's just, I'm forgetting the composer's name, Van Dyke, I believe. It's just incredible. So the stuff that they put into this game, and both the sounds, but also the soundtrack, being this like very rich, like 8-bit crossed with like adult contemporary chill. So it's guitars and chip tunes, making like a very lush soundtrack, so that when you get near the finish line of any of these unpacking puzzles that they basically are, the sun starts to come out, or it becomes darker because it's nighttime. So the room glows with a new kind of light, and the music reflects that wherever you're at in the track. And so
That's
it just makes such a nice mood, and every single one of these has like mood tones to it that just feel rich, but also playful. That's what that kind of 8-bit part gets into. It still feels very playful and fun. What was your second thought on the wave files after wave files?
So the second thought is I was seeing some people getting inflicted with a case of the olds by watching a bunch of kids on Twitter talking about playing unpacking, and they get to the off-brand GameCube item, and they comment, "What is this? Where am I supposed to put this?"
What?
Which is funny to me because
it's a game box.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, it's a game box, but here's the thing: I wasn't alive when the phonograph was invented and was regularly used, but I know what a phonograph looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't alive when the Atari 2600 was invented and regularly used, but I know what an Atari looks like. What do you mean you don't know what a generic plastic game box is? It's a game box.
So
put it with the other game boxes.
I get that. I get that, not knowing what a GameCube is. I get that. That's fine. What I don't get is, how do you not know how to put it somewhere? In the game design, it's a 2x2 box. You literally can put it anywhere. What are they talking about? It's like the easiest thing to place in the game. There's things that are way harder to place. Like the saucepan. Where do you put a saucepan in your house? Where? That's me in real life. Also, if anyone has any ideas on where to put a saucepan in your house, I'm so stuck. It's too tall to put in the drawers where you could put pans, but it's also too long to put into like any of. I have to put it like under the oven in like the broil drawer or whatever that is. But even that, it takes up too much space. Anyway, it just ends up living on top of the stove.
Yeah, that's where it goes. I mean, the thing that I see most people do is they have some sort of rack that you hang it from.
Yep. Which totally would work here, except that they taught me that you can put a little, a small saucepan with the rope on it. It goes on that spot. It's really nice. The first time you see any pans, if you just go like left to right in the most like generic way, the first time you see any pans are actually in the bathroom, because you accidentally put in your first time like unpacking for yourself. You put your like sauce, what is it? The skillet pan with the little handle on it that has the rope. You put it in the bathroom, so you can just hang that sucker right on the bathroom door where you'd put a towel. It goes there. They'll let you put it there. was very
if
freeing.
if I walked into somebody's living place and they just had a little skillet pan just hanging from the bathroom door, I wouldn't know what to think, but I would certainly have thoughts.
Yeah, that doesn't solve the puzzle. It'll flash red because you're in the wrong spot, but it looked so nice there, and I didn't want to go all the way back out to the kitchen I kept unpacking stuff around it, you know?
Yeah, makes sense. This game sounds really delightful, though.
I was like, hey, bathroom door, hold this for me. Thanks. Yeah, it's really delightful. So, yeah, what else have you been up to?
Comboing off of my previous topic of Halo and Destiny 2, I've been playing a lot of that, which is has been in a weird spot all year. I've been playing it for about a year now, since I started playing it with the launch of their current expansion, Beyond Light.
Yep.
The expansion where they sunset a bunch of the content and a lot of the guns, and a lot of people have big opinions on both of those topics, which is understandable.
Yeah, they keep doing that. Is that okay? You know MMOs really well. Is that a lot of stuff about nothing, or is that kind of a big deal?
So, with regards to Destiny 2, it's kind of a big deal because it wasn't just like, oh, we're, taking this old content out and revamping it. Like in Final Fantasy XIV, they've done this before where they removed the old diadem to reintroduce it later for a different purpose. It's the same map, it's the same area, but it has a completely different purpose than it used to.
Yeah, World of Warcraft has done that. Disneyland does that a lot. That's not unusual when they have an idea to, if they need the resources and they have to, update things, then they'll get rid of what's not working and then build right there where there's going to be something new. At least that's how I think about it in my head, but what does it look like on Destiny's side?
On Destiny's side, they basically vaulted the entirety of year one content. So most of the launch locations, specifically like Titan and IO, you can't visit anymore. The vendors from those places aren't available. Any of the content, like the strikes, aren't available because the map data is no longer part of the game.
Oh, that was like all I did when the game started.
Also, the 2 mini expansions, Curse of Osiris on Mercury and the Warmind one on Mars, those are also vaulted.
Oh, that's all I did when a game came out. So those aren't there anymore. I didn't like them anyway. Who cares?
So with regards to vaulting the content, it's kind of a big issue because like if Final Fantasy XIV decided, hey, we're just going to vault all of the A Realm Reborn stuff, players would have to start at level 51, and they would start the game in Ishgard in Heavensward, and it would be really jarring and weird because you don't have that backstory of like what happened in A Realm Reborn and what happened in the 2.x patch series, and you're just thrown into Heavensward and expected to care about these characters. Except at least back in the day, you could do a Heavensward, like you could pay them to like skip to Heavensward or Stormblood or whatever. Yeah, and like you could do that. Like you can do that now with Shadowbringers. You can pay for a story skip and start playing Shadowbringers immediately.
Yep.
And I know people who have done that, and it's like it's fine. It works. Destiny 2 does not have that advantage because Destiny 2 doesn't really have like a continuing story. Like the main story of the game, they vaulted that. And also like the seasonal stories that they've put out, you don't really get to have access to them. Like you could go right now and buy the deluxe edition of Beyond Light, which gets you the 4 seasons that have made the bulk. They're kind of like the patch series in Final Fantasy XIV. And you can experience those storylines, but come Witch Queen, those storylines are done. They're over with. They're considered to be like in universe in the past. So you can't do that shit anymore. Which is really bad. And I don't think that's how that should work. I think if you because you have to pay for the seasonal pass to like do the seasonal content, and like if you do that, like you should just have access to that content whenever. Like I should be able to go back and buy old seasonal content and do that stuff, but I don't want to have that in the game. And on one hand, it's like people aren't really going to be doing older activities anyway, but they should give people the option to at least like solo it, or like, because that's the thing with like Final Fantasy 14 is when content gets older, you can do it unsynced and you can do it with fewer people. So if you wanted to try this content, but you weren't able to do it on content, you weren't able to do a high-end raid, you could just like wait till the next expansion comes out, and then you can unsync it and breeze through it by skipping a bunch of mechanics. But anyway, like all that aside,
there's
the main
something
reason I'm bringing up.
Sorry, there's just something deeply American about that. There's something deeply Seattle, Bellevue specifically, about putting your own past in the past, letting it become history, and then forgetting about it.
Yeah,
because that's what we do here. Is we constantly rebuild tons of stuff, and then put stuff in our past, and then just leave it there. It's gone, and something else gets built up. That's how there was a whole Silicon Valley revolution where Microsoft gets built up and Starbucks gets built up, and now that's all torn down because now it's Amazon world. And that'll eventually all burn down because we've had Seattle burn down a couple of times, and every time we do, we just build on top of it. What was there before? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know. There's something like, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It is just fascinating. And especially for a game like Destiny 2, where if I got jumped ahead 60 levels in World of Warcraft, I wouldn't know how to operate the game. But if I jump ahead 60 levels in Destiny 2 to, what is it, light level, like 500 or whatever, the guns still operate the same.
Yeah, more or less. The item level in Destiny 2 is not nearly as impactful, I would say, compared to Final Fantasy 14 or any other vertical progression MMO. Although I will say that doing the higher level, high-end content, your light level absolutely fucking matters. But it's in a weird case, because like in Final Fantasy 14, they have like a minimum item level that you have to be to do content. Whereas with Destiny 2, they do it in reverse. You can try the content at any light level you want, even if you're just going to die in 2 hits from a regular enemy. But then they have a maximum power level that you can be.
Oh, so that's really funny.
So one of the hardest things in the game right now are Grandmaster Nightfalls, which require you to be item level 1345 to attempt, and the current maximum for the season is 1350, not counting the bonus that you get from the artifact, which just gives you a passive plus whatever based on effectively playtime and how many bounties you complete, how much XP. So you could effectively grind the artifact up to be like, to give you like plus 75, which would put you at like 1400 or whatever. But most people realistically are not going to do that. And it takes a lot of grinding to do that. Like you have to be way up there in levels to get a bonus that big. The Grandmaster Nightfalls recommend a power level of 1370, which is 20 above what the maximum is. So you get wrecked when you try those. And the idea is like that's part of like the difficulty. It kind of reminds me of like the old Halo like difficulty options, because I've been playing on one below like whatever the highest is. It legendary?
Yeah, legendary.
Mm-hmm. I've been playing on heroic, and they actually keep those like names basically. Like legend is like one below the highest, which is master, and then like the Grandmaster Nightfalls are like the highest of the highest. But
neat.
Yeah, like they're fun to do. I did one with my roommate, but we basically did the easiest one that you can cheese by going to an out of bounds area, because Destiny 2 is a forever broken video game. But the main reason I'm bringing it up on this episode is because games. I have become PVPilled. I was just saying earlier how like with Halo, like I was never into the PvP scene with any like sort of game. I'd play the campaign of a game or play the main story, and they're like, "Hey, we've got an online battle suite. Why don't you go play with other people?" And I would say, "No thanks. See ya."
Spencer, you set me up.
I sure did.
How did you get PvP-pilled in Destiny 2? PP-pilled.
I got PP-pilled. That sounds so bad. Okay. So this season's really long in Destiny 2 because we're waiting because they had to put out the next expansion like delayed, kind of like Endwalker. It got delayed because the Endwalker, if it hadn't been delayed because of the pandemic, Endwalker would have already been out for a couple months now. It would have launched in July, but because of that delay, it's coming out in a couple weeks here, which is kind of terrifying. But
because every game's coming out, this is part of it. Every game's coming out in the next 2 weeks. Pokemon, Endwalker. We've got Shin Megami Tensei 5. The list goes on. Forza came out today. But yeah, sorry.
So I was like, okay, so this season's lasting like twice as long as a normal season. I have the chance to get to the maximum like item level in the game, so I can do like the high end content.
Yeah,
and there's a PvP mode that's currently actually happening when this episode goes live, called Iron Banner, which is a special version of the main PvP mode, which is 6v6 control. The only thing that Iron Banner changes that's different from the normal control mode is, one, your item level really matters, which it kind of doesn't. Like, I've been killed by people who were 70 levels below me just because they were using a better gun. Like, it doesn't, like, it matters, but it doesn't feel like it matters. Two, when you capture all the zones become locked down and it starts the hunt. So they're locked down for like 20, 25 seconds. And during that time, since you control all the zones, every kill is worth 3 times as money points. So, and those are basically the only changes. Like, other than that, like, it's to 200 points instead of like, or no, it's not even to 200 points. It's just like to 150 or whatever. And it has a different narrator. Instead of it being Shax, it's Saladin, and that's it.
Yep.
The reason I was doing this mode is because it's an easy way to get like high-end power boosts for your power level, because you get 4 different bounties, which all give you like high-end gear. So it's like, okay, I'm going to do this PvP mode, and grinding those bounties took me an entire Thursday, basically, of just grinding in PvP. And it's like, okay, I'm going to do PvP. I'm not going to be good because I'm shit at this game. It's going to go badly. I'm going to die every time. But I had a mantra where it's like, look, I'm just going to play extremely safely. And I'm going to make it so that if an enemy wants to kill me, they're going to have to chase me. And because they're gamers, they're absolutely going to chase me.
Yep.
And I'm going to just run the fuck away, run to my team. And if they're going to kill me, they have to kill me in such a way that they expose themselves to my teammates and then get killed themselves. And that worked out rather well. I even made like a little shitty cosmetic glamour to make it look like I was the most fiendish, most I want to kill this fucker character possible. It was really good.
What was the look?
It was basically a white quality hood that's literally just a hood, no cape, no frills, nothing, just a regular quality hood. And then I was using an exotic helmet called the Worm Husk Crown, which gives you some health and shields when you dodge, because I play Hunter. And I just like think this little fucking insect shit bag, and it was great. I was just dodging all over the place, just running away. I would get hit once by a single bullet. Boom, I'm out of there. Fuck you. Goodbye.
Ouch, ouch. Ooey, owie, owie, bullets. Ah.
It's not great for getting like big on the leaderboard, but it is great for survival, and that's all that mattered, because like not giving away free kills is more valuable to the team than trying to kill people that are just going to outgun you.
Oh, that's smart.
But that set me on the path to playing PvP more often, because the thing with Destiny 2 when I first started playing is I didn't want to do any. I was just like, when I played Halo, I didn't want to do any of the PvP. But they lock some of the like high-end rewards, which they call pinnacle rewards, behind doing PvP activities. And some of the seasonal challenges require you to play some of the funnier game modes in PvP, like Team Scorched, where everybody just has Scorch cannons, which are basically like super-powered rocket launchers that have a lot of ammo.
Yep.
And
make the game fun.
Yeah. And so like over time, I've just started playing PvP more and more and more, and it's really fun. This is like the most fun I've had with a PvP game since like Team Fortress 2 and League of Legends, like way back in 2012, basically. Yeah. But
no, I get that. And I love, Spencer, I love getting to hang out with you, because even when you are in a position where you are like underpowered in a game or somewhere, you were never caught powerless. you've always got tactics to like put up some screens or something to be like, yes, I can tell I'm not the strongest person in this room, so I'm going to look really big and intimidating and get back to my own teammates who are much stronger than me. That's my plan. And it's like, damn, Spencer got us again.
What's
Really?
fun is during that Thursday when I was like really starting in PvP, there was a moment where I was like, because again, I have no game sense because I don't play these maps like 24/7, really
Yep.
bad at shooting enemies. And I noticed like, okay, my team is pushing the enemy team at their point, and all of them are like diving in, and my super is ready. And I'm chasing, and I'm like in the back line because, I just spawned after dying for the 7th time or whatever.
Yep.
And I noticed that, since all of my team is at this point in the southwest corner of the map, I know that the enemy team are going to respawn in the northeast part of the map. Because there aren't like spawn rooms like there are in like Team Fortress 2. Like people spawn in on the map, but they spawn relative to where the enemy team is, so that you rarely ever spawn in the sight line of an enemy player, and you never spawn in between like 3 of them at once.
Okay, yep.
But since this map is fairly small, what I was able to do is I was able to pop my super, loop around the south bend, and then I had a direct sight line on the northeast side of the map, and I just see a bunch of them like spawn in, and my super is Golden Gun, which could just kill people in one shot, and then boom, 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 took out 4 of them, and so they all got spawn camped. Because the map was small. And then it's like, okay, I'm not the best PvP player, but this was really fucking cool. So,
hunter stuff, that rules.
like my main MO when it comes to PvP is basically just like the whole strategy of like making sure that I leverage the power of my team to make up for my bad skill is just trying to avoid getting tilted in PvP, which is the most important thing with most games. But I've historically had a bad time with it in PvP, mostly when I'm playing by myself. If I'm playing with other people who are like in a team with me, I'm doing content with people and I'm talking with them, that really helps to make me like not get tilted. But
Cool-handed skull. That's what we call them.
But when I'm by myself, I actually get really frustrated. So like if I just take a step back and just think about it, like, okay, every time we die, we got to learn something from each mistake. It makes doing PvP way more engaging, and it's like I'm not beating myself up from getting sniped. I'm just like, oh shit, I died because I got sniped. I got to make sure to, be more careful around corners or take them more aggressively or just not peek there anymore because I know there's a sniper there now. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely understand now how you got yourself PvP pilled. Knowing that you got a like quad kill as people spawned in, damn.
It's really fun.
We got gamers on this channel, man.
So, what else has been up with you?
Oh, I've got a couple other games that I've been playing that I've talked about them on the channel before, but they've gotten into an interesting spot in the last couple times I've played it. The World Ends With You, Neo, the new one, that's gotten me in a weird spot because I'm still playing it. And it's not common for me to be playing a game for, months at a time. Things that aren't MMOs or something,
Yeah.
And it's an RPG that I've been playing for months, but it's not, I guess it's been getting long in the tooth. I'm like 2 out of the 3 or 4 weeks in. I know I'm halfway through the game, but it's not bad. There's no part of this that I can look at and see like, it's just really long. There's a lot of dialogue. It's just the battle system takes too long to operate and just doesn't have enough like oomph in it. It's, the battle system doesn't change or evolve fast enough for me to like stay into this game. It's like, no, none of that's there. It's incredible actually in all of those spots. Every time people speak, it's very economical. They're not, wasting my time down some like really long fetch quest or anything. And when they do want me to like spend time somewhere, it's intentional to want to like make me spend a lot of time somewhere to either for plot reasons or for system reasons. They want me to learn new things. And I'm just like looking at it, I'm like, am I just in this like creamy middles of this game? This like trench where I don't know if I want to keep playing it, but at the same time, I've never had a bad moment playing it. I don't know. I'm feeling weird about it. And now it makes me look back on Maverick reviewing The World Ends With You and being like, damn, how did he do this in like 4 days? He punched through the game so fast and so hard. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with that game, I guess, because if it stays as long as it has been, it's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see the end of it the way that I have been playing it so far. Like, it's getting longer and longer, and I'm taking more breaks between play sessions because it's just not moving fast enough for me. Even though every time I play it moves plenty fast. Last time I played it, there were huge plot reveals that changed the nature of the world itself, and that had acting consequences on the first game. Like, they just drop it in a lore box. They're just like, hey, by the way, remember the last game? Yeah, that world's done. That world's gone. And also, you know how we all have memories of that world? No, you don't. No one remembers this place anymore. It's like, wait, what? What does that mean? And you're like, oh, there's just, good wild ass plot twists that are coming and going. And so every time I think about playing it, I'm like, oh, I really want to play that game. But then at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but I'm playing Hot Wheels. I'm playing Hot Wheels Unleashed like 2 or 3 times a week because the game's really good. So, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm so flush for incredibly good games, but Spencer, do you ever have a moment like that or a game like that where, you're playing it and it's really good, but you can't see the end and it's just a really long experience?
I definitely have. I'm trying to think about a game where that's happened to me in recent memory. It happens a lot when I'm like revisiting a game because it's like, oh, I know how this goes, and I'm remembering the parts of this game that I don't want to play again. Like when I was going back and playing Thief: The Dark Project, there's a part, it's like the 3rd mission down in the Bone Horde where you're basically you're doing some tomb raiding, and
down in the mission's Bone Horde.
The mission's really good, but it's incredibly fucking long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the 3rd mission in the game, and it's after a mission that's already pretty long where you like basically go through a haunted mine up into a big industrial facility to break somebody out of prison. And it's just like, whenever I replay that game, it's like I play 2 missions and then I gotta stop and take a break.
Yeah.
And then there's another one. Once I get over that hill, then it's another hill of like, I go through the 4th, 5th, and 6th mission, and then after the 6th mission, you got to do another fucking... Basically, a lot of the times that I have to stop in Thief is when I have to do a mission where I'm having to go into undead territory, basically, because the 7th mission is also... Hey, you got to go into the old quarter that's filled with a bunch of zombies because there was some accident that happened.
Yep.
So, but, yeah.
You know what? Now that I've had some time to think about it, I know exactly what it is. I know why it's so it comes down to the meta plot, which is weird to say, but how the game's broken up into chapters. Each chapter is a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each week of this thing, those are like the acts. So there's like 3 or 4 acts broken up into 7 days in a week, right?
Right.
And so stuff happens on every single one of these days. And it's very big stuff that happens. Like that you get revealed like tons of important stuff that helps shape the next day as well as the previous days. Characters show up all the time that make you go, wow, oh, these people have connections. That's incredible. None of that happens to change the meta progression or even like the meta plot. So the harshest thing that happens in this game is that you do a lot of tasks and none of those tasks amount to things in you winning the Reaper game that is happening. Every single time you finished your task and it says, you did it. You beat the task before any other team in this game beat their task. However, the Ruin Bringers are still the number one team in this game. And that happens pretty much every day, which is a great bit because it makes the Ruin Bringer team like they're just the worst antagonists. They just, nothing you can do can stop them. It really instills that fact. But where I'm at, that hasn't changed since day one of the game. So if I'm on day 4, I believe, week 2, day 4, that means that for 11 chapters of story, the meta progression of the game has not budged for a second.
Oh,
and I think that's where this is all coming from. And so all I can do when I pick up the game again is look like, oh, I hope something breaks the stalemate. But I know that that's not coming until the third act. Like we can't actually touch that yet. And so I think that's where this like real like dearth of interest is coming from in Twiwi.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like any other game that has like a meta narrative like that, where it's like, oh yes, the bit is that this one team is ahead of you every single time. Oh god, there's one that's on the tip of my tongue. But it's like a similar bit where it's like another team or another character is just always better than you.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like but in the game that I'm thinking of, it's not as important to the plot. It's just kind of a funny like joke thing or whatever that you don't really have to care about all that much. But when the Reaper game is the whole crux of the game's like it's the whole catalyst for the whole game, it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah. Which, that's how it goes. I'm gonna see if I can get through this hump, figure out when the ice will crack. I'll find a way through it, because The World Ends With You is one of my favorite games ever. And I'm playing the sequel of it, and it's so much better than one of my favorite games ever in every aspect. And yet I'm just stuck right here. I'm stuck in this like part that's just, and I know that once I get through it, because I've, heard other people just getting really excited for the last week and the ending parts, not reading any spoilers or anything, just seeing like, I know this cracks in some ways that are really cool. I've just got to get there. Anyway, in the meantime, I'll just keep playing Hot Wheels, because holy crap, Spencer.
Hot Wheels
is so good. It's so nice and pure, and there's something about like, because people can make their own tracks, that every week that I jump into this game, there's like a new level of character creation and content creation, and the liveries that people are making with this really basic baby system. They're getting really cool.
The small domino, big domino meme that's been going around?
Yep.
Where it's like, it's a guy putting up a bunch of dominoes, and there's a small domino, and then there's like a bigger domino, and it's like the small and big domino are labeled. Yeah,
this is one of your favorite memes, actually, if I had to give you one.
Small Hot Wheels car. Everybody now is kids playing with Hot Wheels. Big Hot Wheels car. Now they're playing Hot Wheels, but in a video game that everybody really likes, because I've heard nothing but great things about Hot Wheels Unleashed.
So here's the biggest domino. I'll just tell you where this all ends. The biggest domino is Group Watch Party, Acceleracer's entire Hot Wheels TV show, because it's all on YouTube. There's a playlist that has every Acceleracer's episode, all the way down to the movies. There's like 3 Acceleracer's movies.
Hang on. And is this a series with like one of the characters is like a surfer dude with like an early 2000s like blonde haircut? Is this that one?
You mean Vert Wheeler?
Yes.
You're correct.
All right, good. Okay, I'm on the same page with you. Continue.
Yeah. There is so much Acceleracer's like lore and love inside of this game that all of the most recommended tracks and all of the most like thumbs up decals and stuff for your race cars are all Acceleracers. And so the community has not like fallen into memes or fallen into like making really tough, like you can't beat this level type Mario Maker stuff. It's all, you have to watch Acceleracers. I think there's so much Hot Wheels love inside this game that fans are just like reciprocating really well.
As an outsider with no real foot in this race or any like hands-on experience, just from a cursory glance, that sounds like people are irony poisoning themselves into liking something that's completely fine to like.
No, they're nostalgic.
But they had to irony poison themselves to get themselves to like it.
No,
but that's just very funny.
It's so genuine. And every time I stream it, I get like people in chat that are like, "Hey, have you seen? Can I tell you about Acceleracers? Can I tell you about this series from my childhood that is not only really good because it's just like 3D animated cartoon that is just like a racing show, is, you know, just Fast and Furious. It just has the exact same like pacing and style as like Redline or Speed Racer or any of those, where, you know, guy does racetrack and guy does racetrack fast.
Yeah. But
this one has folks with the names of like Diesel Pork Chop Riggs, because Diesel Riggs was not invocative. It did not evoke enough like, this guy's a trucker. They gave him the nickname Pork Chop.
So you know.
Which is really funny when I'm looking at the list of Acceleracers characters right now. There's another one called Marky Wild. His nickname is Wild, but his last name is also Wild. And both of them are spelled Wylde.
Oh, of course.
Both of them have a Y. It's not like his nickname is like the word wild. No, his nickname is his last name. Of the Wild family, who's I believe the rival. I think the rival is Kurt Wilde, if I'm understanding this correctly. I need to watch all this. It all ends with a Smash Mouth music video, because there was an Acceleracers Smash Mouth music video. Anyway, they keep updating it, so it keeps getting like, they're just like fixing it little by little, and I'm at the point where some folks are spinning off to go play Forza Horizon 5, which is coming out today. And everything I've seen of that game is gorgeous, incredible. 101 gigabytes on your hard drive of really good, both arcade and simulation hybrid, with all of the MMO fixings that Horizon has been just way beyond the curve about. The systems that keep people playing through that game are beautiful, just really sticky, really get you in there. And now you get to explore this like giant part of Mexico, which is so cool. There's an active volcano you can drive in. Anyway, I'm competing with that, is basically what I'm about to say. I want to keep playing Hot Wheels Unleashed because I don't want to play Forza right now, because I don't want to get into that whole big thing. But also, all of the people who are playing Hot Wheels are now jumping into Forza, and I'm like, damn it, no! Don't drive up that volcano. I've got a toy volcano that you can drive up, which is exactly the same as you drive up every time, but it's still awesome.
Oh no. The Hot Wheels fandom is dying. Long live the Hot Wheels fandom.
That's what I'm running into. I'm scared. I'm worried. But I don't think it's actually that much of a competition, just because Forza is a very big game. Hot Wheels Unleashed is a much smaller game, and that you could just turn it on, play a couple races, and be like, yeah, this game whips. You can jump into a lobby online and race against 8 to 12 other people right then and there on some track with your weird hot dog car and have a good time.
That's good.
Yeah, and the courses that people are making are getting real professional. They're getting real nice. They're getting real good at shitposting too. And so now, instead of it being like an accident where I drive off of the edge because someone made like a blind turn, no, it's intentional. They dropped the elevation of the level, and then turned the entire track inward on itself because they purposely wanted to fuck with you.
Oh god.
And I'm like, you got me. You got me this time.
Does it have that just final question here. Does it have that thing that Niall was always going on about was it Trackmania? Was it Star Wars Metallica?
I have yet to see a really good Star Wars Metallica, but let me tell you about something maybe even better. There's a racetrack on there called Telegadela.
Okay.
And this was a track that was made in like the first week by someone who, I don't know if they totally knew what they were doing, but I think they also there's no way they knew what they were doing. Because they were going for Talladega, but it got called Telegadela. And it's just an oval. Very simple. They wanted to make Talladega. They wanted to make a NASCAR-esque racetrack, except they didn't make like straightaways, and so it kind of looks like a weird misshapen egg almost. But it's all flat and it's all tilted inward, kind of like a racetrack would be. And just like any normal racetrack, the left and right strips of the entire racetrack are covered in boost pads, leaving only the middle strip of the racetrack exposed to drive normally on. And so it's a 3-lap track that when you actually get on it, you can kind of, try to take the inside track, but you're going to be taking it with like 8 other people. And so because it's all on a boost pad, it means that you can literally do, what is the thing in Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby? They do the slingshot maneuver. They shake and bake.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched 8 to 12 Hot Wheels shaking and baking for the entirety of 3 laps?
Oh my God. This track is just wakey Hot Wheels eggs and bakey because it's shaped like an egg and they're shaking and baking.
That's exactly right. That's what it is. Talagadala, baby.
And it's spelled wrong.
I've faved this track. No one else has even played. Actually, no, I didn't fave this track. It's not my favorite. I didn't fave it. I did save it, though. I saved it in my recommendeds. No, I don't think anyone else has actually played this track. It's just me. It's just us. It's just our crew. Every time we turn this game on, we have to Talagadala. Because
that's
our dear friend Stu, immediately on the first time playing it, found out that if you drive backwards through it, it's really hard to do, because if you touch any boost pad, you start going forward the way the boost pad's faced. But if you manage to complete a lap backwards, you can run into people who are trying to shake and bake into first place, and they get so mad.
Oh my God.
If you fall off the course for any reason, which you shouldn't, because you're on a boost pad that keeps you there, but however, we've gotten into trouble. If you fall off anywhere and have to reset your car, you do start at the beginning of the entire lap. Because it's all boost pads, there's not a valid restart position except for the starting line itself. And so if you can shake someone into the wall and make them crash, you've killed them. There's no coming back from it.
This is the world's most deadly track.
I've got a dear friend, Char, subbed it up by saying, Talagadela is a place of violence. And she's right. She's completely correct. Anyway, it's a beautiful game. I can't get enough of it. Is there anything else that we want to talk about, or should we get on to news? We've got a little bit of news we can talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about some news. There hasn't been a whole lot, but a few things.
I'll tell you what. You know what keeps on giving? That's right, the New World. Amazon Game Services. Amazon Studio Games. That's the one. AGS. You know them. You love them. They keep on giving because the New World keeps finding new ways to crash. They talked about it on the podcast last week for 30, 40 minutes. I don't want to go over all of the little bits because there's just so much. But immediately after they stopped the podcast, 2 more things popped up. Now in New World, there's been a bug that has caused servers to jump forward in time by a month and basically desync from the network. And so if your character's just on that server, they end up just eventually getting obliterated. And you can see, you're on this server because the day labeled on the server ends up being 30, 40 days in the future. And so there's news coming out where players are just saying, oh, Bifrost just jumped 40 days. Just as a casual thing. Oh, yep, I'm 30, 40 days in the future now.
Does this affect the daily and weekly rotations in this game?
I would have to assume, at least, even if you didn't look at the time every day, you'd know if your dailies were all messed up or your weeklies were all happening at a different time of the week.
It's so weird to think about.
So Amazon said they fixed it, and then it happened again.
Yeah, you fixed it for that month, but now the next time jump month is happening, and it's right around the corner, and you didn't fix that one. Oh,
yeah,
dear.
It seems like for individuals playing it, you just have to get off that server as fast as possible, which is AGS is trying their best. They're trying their best in a lot of things. They're trying their best to make sure that that's not like, if you're on one of these servers, you could try to get your stuff off as fast as possible without paying money. But if you don't know, then you don't know. And so if you're on one of these servers, you find out it's 40 days. It's like you still have to pay the server transfer cost that's in every MMO to get off as fast as possible. And so it's just this weird like situation where you hope this doesn't happen to your server, because if it happens, it could end up, you completely lose everything that you're doing. Especially if you're in like big guilds and stuff, you don't want to lose guild housing and stuff like that. However, speaking of guild housing, they turned off all of the gold duplication stuff. They figured out ways to fix those bugs. Except that added a new bug. Their way of turning off gold duplication services basically was just, we're turning off gold duplication services. We're turning off these like very specific gold services. We're just shut them off, turn them off. We're getting rid of them. And so there's no way to exploit those things because they don't exist anymore. Trying to remember which parts exactly, but the main thing here is people found out that after they turned off those services, now if you upgraded your like town that your company is building, that upgrade cost ends up getting added to your funds instead of removed. So players just found a whole new gold duplication. One of those 1,000 bugs on the wall. You take one down, pass it around. 4,000 bugs are now on the wall.
Wow, it's a lot of bugs.
It's a lot of bugs, and I'm hoping they get easier eventually. But these bugs seem just really large. And so after last week, you embedding JPEGs into the chat windows, after last week's shaking the screen to get extra server pings saved on your side to ping the server all at once with infinite damage and stuff like that. Like, the hits just keep coming for New World.
So tabling, and these are big concrete blocks that I'm tabling here. Tabling the whole, this is under Amazon, and also this is another MMO that I don't have time to play.
Yep. Big tabling blocks.
If those like taking these big giant concrete blocks out of this equation, I still wouldn't play New World, given the title and the premise. And
just from the title, it just feels. I couldn't get past the title of this game as well because of the like colonization feelings.
The fact that the cover / the logo character just wears like a conquistador helmet. Yep. Basically. Mm-hmm. And I can't really see the perspective of people who like see that and just go, yeah, this is totally a game I want to try out and play.
It looks so generic. It looks generic, and the vibes are whack just from those specific parts. The advertising, the front facing part.
Like in some degrees, I sympathize with people who like do like performance with playing video games, like your YouTubers, your streamers who are like, oh, I got to play this new game because everybody's going to talk about it. It's going to get me some views, going to get me some revenue, whatever. That's fine. But I can't imagine like getting like really invested in playing this colonization based MMO.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you're not the only one, because they have dropped, they've hemorrhaged player base through all of this. But
waiting for 20 hours to get into the server probably was a bigger contributing factor to that. But
honestly, because it's an MMO, we know how these things work. We know that players love playing an MMO because they get to play it together. I don't actually think any of these are the root cause to New World hemorrhaging a player base. And that's because we've seen games with just as rough starts. We've seen Fallout 76, which had a similar kind of situation going on, and eventually found a player base and got to the point to where they were stable, and then got to the point to where they were actually really good. They were solid and fun to play. And so that player base was able to rock with it through that whole situation. And I don't know if that's going to be the same for New World, and I think it's especially because they shot off so hot, and because their advertising was explicitly, hey, everyone's playing this, so you have to play it, and also everyone's playing it because we paid them to play it. That part of things, I think, will backfire in a very big way through all of this, just because if people's friends aren't playing it, if the streamers aren't playing it, that was their main advertising push, that means that no one else is going to jump on. There's no reason for someone to newly jump into New World as it is falling. Fallout 76, there's plenty of reasons to jump onto that now, and there's been plenty of reasons to jump onto that over the course of its development, as shaky as it was, because it's at least got the Fallout name. There's exciting stuff to do in that game, even if it's broken or breaks. New World, though, I mean, they've got a clean combat system, and it's fun to punch things, and that I don't know what else is there that you can't get somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so the only way I see them pulling out of the tailspin is they've got to come up with some kind of content launch and actually release that content without, relying on just paying a bunch of content creators to enjoy it. They have to give me a lore, a story, a character reason to actually get into this game. And short of doing that, I don't see them doing much more than just popping up every 6 to 12 months with by paying off a bunch of streamers.
Yeah.
And that might work for them. I mean, it's worked up to this point because they sure cashed in easy. They got those sales figures are staggeringly large. But yeah, there are ways out of this, is I guess what I want to say. There is a way out, and it's probably just as conceited as the way they got into this mess altogether. Putting out a game, rushing it to launch really quickly before giving it some thorough beta tests on big servers. But as it goes, we'll continue, and at least I'll continue looking and laughing at it. Because it's Amazon. What better punching bag than Amazon Game Studio?
More or less. What else we got news wise?
Oh, speaking of punching bags, actually, I don't have necessarily punching bag news for this. I kind of do. League of Legends, love that punching bag. I don't punch at games. I don't want to punch, beat them up as like a news thing. League of Legends is actually airing a TV show on Netflix, and I was watching trailers for it and genuinely excited for this launch. I don't know nothing about League of Legends other than the music videos that permeate every rhythm game that I play, but the Netflix trailers are, I don't have Netflix either. I don't even know how to watch this. I'll figure out a way. It looks cool. It looks fancy and fun, and it looks like what I was getting with the what is the K-pop diva group? Their music videos.
Oh, KDA?
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Yep. It has that exact same animation style, but for a whole TV show. And so I'm like, hey, if you're willing to show me League of Legends lore in a way that I can consume it, then yeah, I'm down. I'm very down.
My only memories of League of Legends lore is when it was like, I am in college and playing League of Legends and noticing that Riot Games has a position opening for writing, specifically like writing lore and stuff for characters and building out the world of, I think it's called Runeterra. And then a year later, them deciding, oh, the lore doesn't matter anymore. We're no longer going to be writing like stuff about news, what's happening in the world, because we don't care about the lore anymore. But now we care about the lore because there's like Netflix money to be made, although maybe not as much money considering what has come out with what happened with Squid Game. But
oh, yeah.
I think it was the director of Squid Game basically like summed it up as like, oh, it paid the bills, it put food on the table.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, this might also be a little different because this is part of their like Netflix premieres thing. And so it's not the same as like they have a specific thing for it, a specific label on the Netflix side for how it was produced. So
gotcha.
They might be getting some big bucks for this. I could only assume based on what it is.
They're certainly investing a lot, to be sure.
Yeah, everyone is. I mean, Fortnite's in on it now.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Jinx is in Fortnite.
Oh dear.
I guess that is the League of Legends kind of main character. Their main person, because Jinx is the only character that I recognize in League of Legends, other than I guess Teemo. But
everybody loves Teemo. Everybody loves Teemo.
Everyone loves Teemo. As the reputation I know, that's a character people love and don't hate.
I love Teemo. That's fine. Jinx can be in Fortnite. I still won't play either of these games. I probably won't watch the Netflix series, but I'm really happy for the one person I follow on Twitter who's just incredibly horny for Jace all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
Yep.
Good for them.
I can't even. I mean, I get it. I guess I get it is what I can say about that. I get people being into how League of Legends looks. It's they have found ways to represent their characters very beautifully without having to commit a single damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
They can pick these characters up and drop them at any time they want. It does not matter what happens in this game, and this Netflix series is probably going to prove that in some way or another.
Yeah.
At the same time, speaking towards, I guess League of Legends learned their lessons from Blizzard's failures, which continue to spiral out of control in real time amongst us. But League of Legends doesn't have to commit to anything because they learned from Blizzard that if you commit to anything at all, that you're stuck with it, and you will have to do so much work backpedaling when that doesn't work out. Overwatch has, invested a bunch of lore into their characters, a lot of which hasn't worked out, including naming them at times. Shouldn't name your characters after real people. Anyway, the news that came out this week was that one of the heads of Blizzard, Jen O'Neill, has quit Blizzard after 3 months, walking away, leaving the last person in as a head of Blizzard is Mike Ibarra, who is not free of so much. His name has come up quite a few times this year, and it's they just threw this out. There were people that didn't even know until their shareholder meeting that week that this was even a possibility of happening. She just stepped down immediately, and Blizzard's got their lawsuits are ongoing. They've got so many things that are going wrong, and then O'Neill gives out a nice thing that's hey, I'm not doing this because I don't have hope for Blizzard. She said quite the opposite. I'm inspired by the passion of everyone here working towards meaningful, lasting change with their whole hearts, which is a weird way to step down. Just, you all are so passionate about this video games thing. I stepped in here expecting to run a company, but you know what, y'all, you have your video games. You really are doing a great job out here. I'm just gonna step away and let Mike Ibarra, who everyone knows at this point way too well, they're gonna just run it all themselves somehow. All of this amongst BlizzCon being not canceled, but BlizzCon's been moved to another year. It's not happening this year or in 2022. We talked about this last week on the podcast. I missed the thing, but it's been it along with PAX South are both shutting the doors, at least for right now, if not forever. And so it's it's getting cold out there for Blizzard.
I get it.
Yeah.
Winter puns.
I'm sorry, it's just cold where I'm at right now. It's very freaking cold in here. Do you have any news? Anything that's been going on that you've been seeing?
Yeah. This is actually breaking news. Literally just happened a couple minutes ago because there's a Final Fantasy XIV live letter that's happening right now. Although by the time
yay,
our dear listeners will have heard this episode, this will have been 2 days ago. But they get to hear your and mine live reaction to the news that Endwalker has been delayed.
What?
Yes.
What?
They're delaying it. They are delaying it
Yeah.
They're delaying it until December 3rd. You're really taking this. You're really taking this news. Are you doing like calisthenics right now? That sounds like you're mad and you're doing calisthenics.
I'm just doing some squats over here. I got 3-4 more weeks. Okay, can I change my day off requests? I've got to plan out 4 more weeks of content. I got to stretch out this patch for 2 more. Okay, all right. Hey, okay.
Yeah,
I can handle that. Just 3 more weeks in Boja, right?
Oh no, 3 more weeks in Eureka. We're doing Eureka. Remember? It's fine.
Yeah,
Eureka's fun.
It's a fun place. It's a fun place. I can hang out with my friends for 3 more weeks.
I'm getting this information because I'm not watching the live letter.
It's happening right now. Yeah,
it's happening right now. I'm recording a podcast with my good friend Soul, and I don't have time to watch Yoshi P. But I'm getting this information from Rose, who's telling me, like, as I asked, like, did they say why they're delaying Endwalker? And according to her, Yoshi P is saying right now that he wanted to do a lore check to make sure everything made sense and to do more Q&A, like do more QA.
Okay.
So, going into this conversation of like, League of Legends throwing out their lore, but now bringing it back for a TV show, and Blizzard also adhering to their lore in uncomfortable ways and having to go back and walk that back. Welcome to the club of Overwatch, cowboy man who's now named Bogo Spinted, I guess.
Yeah. Is his name like Butch Cassidy or something like that?
Cole. It was Cole, like coleslaw.
Cole.
Yeah. That's the only way that's the only thing that stuck out of me. It's like, oh god, my I have to go back in time and tell past me that his main is going to be called coleslaw because his main is named after a horrible person. Anyway.
Yep.
But like apparently like, oh, they're delaying Endwalker by 2 weeks to make sure that all the lore checks out and also to do more QA. I'm fine with this, kind of. Like more QA is always good, but I really was just kind of ready for this to be here already, Oh,
I need this now for reasons that aren't because I'm like excited for it. I need it here for a lot of reasons.
Actually, I remember when you said, like, one of our more recent streams, that you said that, like, you were quoting, like, the Twitter account that was like, oh, it's only 30 days until Endwalker. And I said, well, maybe. And you're like, no, I'm pretty sure it's that. Well, now it's like, no, I had good reason to doubt that.
It's a stab to the heart. Okay. Thank you, Spencer.
Uh-huh.
I mean, maybe I can, like, stretch things out in a way where, like, we can do some, like, Endwalker lore, like, revealing stuff, or I'm trying to, like, bargain or barter with this. I don't know. You know what? No, this is great. This is great. This is great. I'm seeing my DMs are lighting up right now with some. Oh, okay. This is actually great because you know what? This means that I get more time with all of the other games that are coming out this month, and I can spend my Thanksgiving with my family.
And people won't have to. People whose interests align with Shin Megami Tensei and Final Fantasy XIV will no longer have to speedrun SMT5 before Endwalker comes out.
I really wanted to speedrun that.
You get a whole extra 2 months with protagonist who has the worst haircut imaginable.
Shut your mouth.
It looks okay. It looks good in the transformation, but when the protagonist is wearing like the regular people clothes, sorry, that's not flying. We need to straighten those bangs there, or slick the hair back. Something. Spencer
just chasing after the protag with scissors, like, please, snip, snip.
But yeah, you want to get into some quick fire news that we don't really have to delve too far into.
No, I can't stop thinking now of a giant skeleton chasing after someone with scissors and screaming,
Hey,
let me shorten your ears.
I am a normal size skeleton. You did not have to pre-order me from Home Depot to get a giant skeleton that's like limited edition.
You know what? You're right.
I'm a regular sized skeleton. Thank you.
69 inches of bones.
Sure am. That's me. So there's also, in addition to a League of Legends TV series, there's also a Devil May Cry anime that's going to be coming out.
Oh, we're just moving on. Sorry, I'm still shaking, but yeah. No, there's.
I'm moving on.
Okay, keep me moving. Thank you. Devil May Cry.
So the only thing that they specified a bunch of things, like Virgil's going to show up in it because it's Devil May Cry. Of course, Virgil's going to be there. They specifically said that Chris Pratt would not be in the Devil May Cry anime, so we all dodged that bullet.
Wait, they had to announce that?
No, I think it was a case of because this was from IGN. I think somebody asked, or they just said no, Chris Pratt's not going to be there because Chris Pratt's been announced as being the voice of Mario in the Mario film, and is also going to be, who else was it? Garfield. That's it, Garfield. Thank you. My mind takes a bit to acknowledge Garfield's existence. Forgive me for that.
Garfield blind,
more or less. I do not perceive Garfield. It's a normal character trait to not perceive Garfield or Garfield adjacent entities.
So when you see the Garfield minus Garfield comic strip edits, you just go, oh yeah, normal Garfield.
And this is a normal comic about a person talking to thin air.
Yep.
Devil May Cry anime. There's not really many details, but it's probably going to be fine. There's some DLC for Resident Evil Village in case people didn't get enough of that game. I watched somebody play that through VODs on their stream. That game seemed pretty cool. That game seemed pretty fun.
It's really cool. It's not perfect by any means, but it's just, now that I've played another Resident Evil game, I'm like, yes, Village just straight up copied the format from every other Resident Evil game, and that's why it's good.
So I'm not gonna mention the boss fight particularly because it's kind of a spoiler, and part of the magic of those games is just seeing shit happen on your own. But when I was watching this streamer play through via VODs, they got to a certain boss fight, and people who've played the game can probably guess which boss fight. And they were like, oh, hold on, I need to pause the game here and put this music on. And they started playing a Metal Gear Rising Revengeance song in the background while they were fighting this boss.
Yep.
And that was the coolest shit ever because it totally fit with the action of that game, which doesn't sound like it would be good in a Resident Evil game, but for that specific boss fight, it really fucking fit. And the last bit of quick news here, and then I guess we can go to questions.
Nice.
Ubisoft and EA have decided to put all their chips into blockchain. Yeah,
no.
that's because both of those companies have been really good at making stellar decisions in the past. So this is going to be the goose that lays the golden egg for them. But then they won't own the egg; they'll only own a license to prove that they have a token on the blockchain that says they own the golden goose egg.
Damn, that metaphor actually had a lot more layers to it than I think when you first said it. Ooh,
they are boned. It's my official take here. They are boned.
Yeah, no, it's funny because part of the frustrating part of NFT stuff that's been going around is that amongst everything else that is a problem, the folks that are producing blockchain-based stuff are the tackiest groups I've ever seen in my life. They make tacky art that looks of very low quality, that when reproduced just it doesn't have much weight to it. Whenever I see any of this stuff, I'm like, that's what you're paying for, that's the goods that are in this service. And on top of that, seeing Ubisoft and EA as the companies leading the way while so many other companies are like, no, we're not doing that. Steam, no, we're not doing that. That's tacky. Ubisoft and EA are the tackiest game company, the game publishers and producers. The iconography that they produce from their games are so tacky. So anyway, it's not like it's going to change much of anything, because what's more blockchain NFT than the FIFA games that come out yearly? It's it's consumables on top of consumables, and so it makes so much sense that Ubisoft and EA are the two to try to get into this. Like even Epic is going to wring their hands a little bit, be like, I don't know if this is worth buying into. But no, Ubisoft, EA, they're both feet in. That makes so much sense for them specifically as like the most money grubbing companies in this whole thing. Yikes.
Yeah, more or less. It's
and it's not going to work out for them either, because that's their MO. That's all they do is stuff that blows up in their face.
And you'll notice that, like you said, like none of the other companies are doing this, and there's pretty good reason why.
I mean, there's plenty of good reasons why, but I still think the main thing is just it's tacky. It's so cheap. It's miserly looking. Anyway.
You wanna do some questions and we can wrap up this episode?
Yes. No, you know what? After that, I would love to hear from some friends and take some questions. If you would like to sound like any of these fine people who have given us some beautiful questions, you can always go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask, and you'll sound like White Marble Tuxedo, our very own LV, has asked, all right, A24 brawl game. Give me your picks. Give me your move sets. I think a character like the Green Knight would be too OP and would successfully instant KO everyone by beheading them. But I also think Black Phillip, the goat from The Witch, would be pretty good. There are many existing fighting game characters that have dual forms that his moveset can draw from, so his true demon form will have limits. Oh, wow. There's a fucked up bipedal brown bear. That would also be a funny rep from Midsummer. LV, you have me at such a loss. I know of A24. I know of their reputation as artsy films. I have no idea if I've ever seen any of them. And anything that I would have seen, you have instantly built an entire repertoire for. But Skull, do you have any thoughts on this?
A24. They're behind Uncut Gems, aren't they?
Are they? You know what? They might be. Yep. If you got a Sandler, that's what I would know them for. So I guess. Oh no! This is how the Sandler verse wins. Oh, this is how Sandler gets into Smash, isn't it?
Sandler will never be in Smash.
Oh,
he has to fight Jack Black for that space, and he's not winning against Jack Black. I'm sorry.
Well, that's the thing. This is all coming from the Warner Brothers announcing a super cheap cash-in brawl game with the Warner Brothers crew.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means there's a non-zero chance that you end up with a Jack Black character or a Adam Sandler character from any of these properties. I will still contend that if they made a Sandler brawl, that I would regrettably and problematically have to main the Hubby Halloween Adam Sandler, because he's just the most technically sound character. He has so many tools at his disposal that he can take you out with.
I'm gonna have to go with so my vote for Elvie's question is absolutely Green Knight, just because that's one of the only Arthurian stories that I've actually read.
Yep.
But Sandler versus Smash game, I'm going with Happy Gilmore. He's just got that fucking.
Oh yeah.
He's just got that fucking 9-iron, just whap.
Oh yeah, his running dash attack, just being able to KO you with a tipper. That's not okay. That's not right.
You got an answer for Elvie's question, or are you going with loss as yours?
I'm at a loss.
Right.
I'm not gonna pick. Yeah, you know what? I'll pick The Weeknd. They're putting The Weeknd in from from Uncut Gems. Shulis asks, hey, if you could get a gyroid in real life, which one would you get?
I don't actually have all the gyroids off the top of my head, memorized, but I would definitely get whichever one is... Wasn't there, a skeleton one? Wasn't there, a bone one?
I don't know if it was bones, but there was definitely a dry gyroid.
Yeah, a dryroid. I'd want a dryroid.
They look so dried out. That was the one for you.
Yeah.
Let me pull up a list of some of these. Oh my god, there's so many in the new Animal Crossing expansion. Oh, okay. There's like a cool like birdcage looking one.
You should be able to. There should be a gyroid database that you can look up gyroids by recording you trying to imitate what the gyroid sounds like.
Yes. Yep. I'm seeing one that's like got grass coming out of the top of their head, but they kind of just look like a green broom almost. There's one that looks like they look kind of like a Mr. Potato Head, and that one's the one for me. Where they look like they just have like children's toy pieces coming out of the nose and arms. And yeah, I vibe with that one completely.
Oh yeah.
We would dance together.
Oh yeah, doing the gyroid dance. I'm doing this right now, but people can't see it because this is the limitations of the audio medium.
Oh, don't worry. No, I'm right here and I'm clapping for you. That's the Animal Crossing clap.
You're supposed to dance with me, not clap with me. We're doing the gyroid together.
Nope, I'm just spamming the clapping button because I can't dance with you. You're doing such a good job.
All right, what's the next question? Hit me.
Mujin Resin asks, gamers, I'm playing Scarlet Nexus, and it's a standardly decent game with some fun and interesting parts. But what's more impressive to me is that this studio, they made God Eater, they made Code Vein, actually finally just made a normal-ass game without any huge caveats. Are there any game studios you've followed like this and have been happy to see flourish, or alternatively disappointed you by never living up to the potential? I'll tell you about a game studio that disappoints me on the regular basis more and more than when we started. Silicon Knights, baby.
What did they do?
They started with Eternal Darkness, and then they made Metal Gear Solid the Twin Snakes, which I have only played. I've never played the original Metal Gear Solid, and I don't need to, because I played the Twin Snakes, which was a really great game. And MGS heads always tear my head off for this, but I'm gonna stay solid, because I like when the funny man in the mask reads my GameCube memory card and says that, I've played Smash Bros. And I'm like, yep, I have played Smash Bros. Thank you, mister.
Yeah, I think Twin Snakes is a perfect, acceptable substitute for playing the original MGS. I don't know what people are on a high horse about.
Then they got into making Too Human, and the wheels really fell off the cart on that one. So much so that when you bring up Silicon Knights, people don't think of these great games, and instead go, they make that like Simpsons like sound where they tug at their shirt and go.
It's unfortunate. I wasn't super invested in this company until I started playing their game, like, well after it had gotten success, but I'm really happy to see how Digital Extremes has flourished with Warframe. They've stuck with it for about 8 years now.
Yes.
And it's just getting better every time.
Digital Extremes is an incredible example, just how they've grown. I'm glad for Scarlet Nexus too. No, I'm really glad that they've made a normal game, because that's what I've heard too, is that like people play it and they're like, wow, this is so playable, as opposed to God Eater and Code Vein, which are like, wow, these are games they made choices. And some of them are very exciting, and some of them are really end up making bloat that doesn't make sense in other places, like how co-op Code Vein is, and it works in that format, but if you play it alone, it just falls apart and gets really bland. I think if I had to see one grow, though, I don't think we give enough credit to actually Atlas, of all people, just to what extents they've grown and managed to keep up with everything changing around them. I don't, but I'm a big Persona hater, but I can at least like look and see how much they've changed from them breaking out in a big way in the mainstream with Persona 3, and then just building upwards so much so that now they're coming out with Shin Megami Tensei 5, and just like, even though, folks are immediately trying to compare it to Persona, and that's a whole can of worms on its own, like, we can all do that together because of how far that Atlas has come. And I don't know, they've just put in the work as a publisher, as a developer, from every standing. they're big AAA, they're big mainstream, but also they've kind of earned it in a lot of ways. They've earned this status from hard work and determination, and they've put in the sweat, and so I don't know. I think there's something there.
Nice. I'd agree with that.
And our last question of the night, Harlequin Wheels asks, "Hey, what character in Final Fantasy XIV would make the best VTuber?" Which,
okay,
thank you for that question.
Okay, first we have to quantify what best means in this context. Do we mean...
I know we have 5 to 10 minutes left, but let's break this down. I'll extend it 30 minutes. Let's go. What do we mean? Okay. Break it down, buddy.
So do we mean like best in terms of has the most viewers and makes the most revenue, or best in terms of do you think they would perform the best as a VTuber, or do we mean like they would invest so much of themselves into VTubing in terms of like maybe they don't have the best like rigging, but they really buy into their character, they really sell the idea of their character and their play style, and people appreciate them on that level. So we have to. So let's have these three categories. So we've got the.
I'm ready. I'm so right with you. Mm-hmm.
Best in terms of like material performance. Best in terms of like comfort in the role, and then best in terms of investment in the role.
I'm going to throw out a name for you. I'm going to throw out a name that kind of hits a little bit of each of these, but I don't think is the best in all of them.
Okay.
Rin, the character from Shadowbringers,
yes,
especially from the Raid series, I think that she would have incredible networking power and would have very good merch that is put together by friends of hers. Okay. And I think between how merchandisable her work becomes, she ends up like, she puts the work in not on the like performance part or on the rigging part, but specifically on like the intangibles outside of that. And it just shoots her right to the top.
So do we put Reen as the top? Because I agree that Reen would absolutely be a top shelf VTuber, but would she be, which category do you think she would excel in the most?
Out of those three, I see that's the part is like, she would be very, very successful, but not for like any one specific thing. She'd be picking games that are very like, call to her in ways, but they're not like out there. She's not looking out at the cutting edge of any one specific subject or topic. She's got a main game that she really likes, and that's about it. But she goes to all the cons, and she does all the networking she needs to do. And so
I think due to her earnestness as a character, I think she would absolutely be the best in terms of gets invested in her own VTuber. She would be like really into it.
Ooh, yeah.
Like she would show up to cons in cosplay as her VTuber.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
So,
you know what? Just chatting. That'd be her category.
Yeah.
She'd have a lot of very fun formats. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I have one for you.
Yeah.
This is in the best in terms of the VTuber role. Urianger.
I thank you. That was exactly what I was thinking when you described it. Yes.
And I love both interpretations.
Would be such a good VTuber.
I love both interpretations of he's a good VTuber because he doesn't actually perform as a character, but people just assume he does because he always talks in the weird, flowy, Middle English way that he does.
Mm-hmm.
Thou sayest thine, all that shit.
You have to pay
I like it where he actually has, I don't know if this is true, but he of all the people, he seems like the one most likely to have a theater background and thus would actually be able to perform as a character, because he does kind of do this a little bit in Shadowbringers when he's tricking the pixies into doing things like making him tea that he then pretends that he finds gross because he gets them to make him tea by convincing them that it's a horrible prank that he hates. And so they try to pull a prank on him, and then it turns out that no, they're actually just making tea for him. So I think he would be good at putting on the persona of a character and selling that character.
Yep. Let me give you a stream moment that they all clipped. This is a clippable stream moment from this fantasy stream that we're just making up. So Y'shtola has saved up 99,000 channel points to spend all on the biggest channel point reward that Urianger has. Here it is. Urianger has set up an entire filling the screen with water interactable that lets you drown Urianger, and he puts on a whole voice filter for it where he's underwater, and he gets very angry. And Y'shtola spends all of her channel points, all 99,000, just on this. She's been subbed for 20 months silently in the background without ever spending any channel alerts or anything. Just to hit this one button.
That's so good.
All right, give me one more. One more. This rules. This rules so much.
The most okay, so this leaves the most in terms of like the most successful VTuber. Who would be the most successful VTuber?
Yeah, who's the rock star? Just pulling it all. Just they play the right games at the right time. They know everything, and anyone watching is constantly clipping them for shits and giggles, making little YouTube off shots and putting them together with all the other VTubers.
I have 2 votes for you.
Okay.
One is going to be a male character, and the other one is going to be a female character.
Okay.
Because these are appealing to two different audiences, but I think they would be equally successful in this endeavor.
Yep.
The male character is Sittergoo, who is the Dark Knight NPC.
Oh, okay.
He's incredibly popular, and he's probably like responsible for a lot of people enjoying the Dark Knight storyline because he's a very fun character. He has a sort of like father-daughter relationship with his charge, essentially. And it's very funny to see that from like a Dark Knight character who you usually would expect to be like, big and dark and brooding and stuff, but he's actually just kind of a goofball. But not in the same goofball ways that like Alphino can be a goofball, or that like Thancred can be a goofball, or Curious Gorge of the Warriors warrior questline can be a goofball. He's a goofball in ways where it's like he's threatening to kill Moogles because they're teasing him too much, and then he's just like, fuck it, you're right. Love is the power of darkness.
Oh, okay. Yep. Nope. I can see how just interacting with a chat room would send his charisma through the roof.
And for the female character pick, it's going to be Hilda from Heavensward.
Oh,
because there are a lot of people who really like Hilda. She would be really good at VTubing and would raise all the funds for basically the commoner class in Ishgard. And she, because of her status as a half Elysian, half Hyur character, a lot of players have wanted like that sort of interactability with character customization. Like, I would love to play a Hyur with Elysian ears, or I would love to play like a slightly larger Lalafell.
Yep.
Because in the lore, if people like have like an interracial child, they do end up having traits of both races. That is canon.
Oh,
so like if you had like an Aura and a Lalafell like have a child, the child might be like Lalafell sized, but then would have like the scales and the tail and shit and such. So, but yeah, I think because we already did like 2 main characters with Reen and Urianger, so I wanted to pick some other NPCs that you don't necessarily hang around with a lot. And I think that Sittergoo and Hilda would be really big in the VTuber scene.
No, I completely follow that. No, I think that you're right, that Hilda would have so many like just moments where she would work together really well with a bunch of other people and not like overtake anyone. Wouldn't have expected it. Not the first person I would have thought of, but now that you said it, it's like, yeah, no, that makes grounded sense. Also, her tech would be on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows all the dragons.
When people get banned in chat, there's an animation of her character of her VTuber model pulling out a gun and shooting the chat box. It's good.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Now, the one I'm following is I'm following the Hildebrand VTube stream.
Oh, fuck.
And it's not like the most popular or anything, but they just play weird games, and Hildebrand keeps getting into the worst trouble in these very simple games. And so I'm just always there for it.
All right, welcome to part 24 of me trying to play through Spelunky 1.
Yep. Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on, and I refuse to learn.
Exactly. Thank you for that question, Harlequin Wheels. That was exactly where we can end things tonight. So, yeah, thank you, Spencer, for joining me on this podcast. Thank you, listeners, for hanging out with us tonight. I hope that we've been able to make your night a little better, make your week a little better. with all of the news and all the games that Video Game Choo Choo can deliver. If you would like to follow more, we've got a website. You should go check it out. I got my review on there. We've got the anime podcast, Unlimited Railworks. Dubs is on there. You can go to videogamechoochoo.com and see it all. It's all there. You can also go to the Twitter at VGCC or the Tumblr, which is videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. We're on Facebook and YouTube. You search us up at Video Game Choo Choo and you'll find us there, as well as the Twitch, which is twitch.tv/VGChoochoo. And we're also on Patreon, which if you spend a little bit of $3, you get all of our content a week early that we're putting out, including our anime podcast, Unlimited Railworks. We also are on Discord. Oh, sorry, the Patreon is patreon.com/VGCC. Very, very short, concise, simple. And our Discord is thegamezone.zone, which you should go there. If you haven't been there, it's a really fun place. I tried canceling Thank Gnome It's Friday today, and got a lot of flack for that, and then they gnomed me. I'll never try to cancel Thank Gnome It's Friday, TGIF, ever again, I guess.
Listen, it's No Gnome November. If you gnome post during No Gnome November, you get vanquished.
Whoa! No, as long as it's on Friday, I'm fine with it. Just please spare me. Anyway, the Discord's very fun. Go to the gamezone.zone for your game zones. And that's our cast. Spencer, where can we find you if we wanted to find more about your Destiny and Final Fantasy XIV going-ons?
You can find me on Twitter at Solaire, like the Dark Souls character, Hazard, Solaire Hazard. No spaces, no underscores, no letters, or no, there is letters. But
no letters! You're a minimalist in all things.
Yeah, I'm a real numbskull over here. Where can we find you, Solon?
My co-host, so gracious. Thank you. You can find me at ChorbySP. That's ChorbySP. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitch every night. We're just playing Hot Wheels. We're only playing Hot Wheels. It is a Hot Wheels only stream because I can't get through goddamn Tweewee. It's just too much. And we play a lot of games on there, actually. It's a very fun place. And as far as everything else, you can find it's ChorbySP everywhere. It's ChorbySP everywhere. And that's all I got. I'm out. I've run out of space. I've run out of ways to stall for time. This was the shortest episode we'll have all month. And, I mean, that's all you get. You have to wait a whole another week for another Video Game Choo Choo podcast. So long.
Goodbye.